Do you dread going to work every day? Are you suffering a host of mental and physical changes that are compromising your performance? If so, you could be developing burnout. This video is all about giving you research-backed clues so you can identify the early signs and, more importantly, fix yourself so you can keep evolving into a top performer. Let's watch it. Hey, I'm Castillo, founder of Selfmastered. We're a high-performance training company that helps entrepreneurs scale their businesses by solving their silent bottleneck, their own performance. We transform the unproductive, overwhelmed, and focused entrepreneurs into laser-focused business athletes that can achieve in one day what they previously achieved in 1 week. So today I want to talk about burnout, which essentially affects 75% of the workforce, according to the latest research. And burnout not only compromises your ability to perform, but it also compromises your happiness, and it can wreck you and put you into a miserable state of mind and being that you need help out of. So this video is all about giving you the clues that you need in order to identify the early signs and do something about it. Now, we're going to talk about first what are the early signs of burnout, and then what are the full symptoms so that you know where are you in this scale. The early signs are essentially three. One is dreading to go to work. If you find yourself dreading to go to work every single day, then chances are that you're becoming disengaged with your work. And it's something that happens to a few of the clients that we work with. Not all of them, but some of them, especially those that are professionals, find themselves fully disengaged from their work when they come see us. Dreading to go to work 1 or 2 days a month, that's totally okay. But if you hate what you're doing, if you don't really want to go, if everything you do at your work seems negative to you, then you may be developing burnout. 2. The second early sign is when you start developing attitudes and moods and personalities that are not really yours and tend to be negative, tend to be cynical. If you happen to find yourself having reaction to normal stimuli that you wouldn't have otherwise, and maybe all the people around you tell you that you have changed for the worse, then it may be a sign that you are developing burnout. And the third thing is when you start having physical symptoms, when you start falling ill more often, when you start having physical manifestation of this burnout, such as headaches, muscle pain, illnesses. Essentially, you are performing at a lower level on the physical side. And this is the third early sign of burnout that you need to be looking into. Before we get into the full symptoms, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because we're running a few promotions to our subscribers, giving away thousands of dollars worth of courses. And also because it is the right thing to do, right? You love this channel, you love the content that we do, and you know that we need your help to help more people. So hit the bell, hit subscribe, tell your friends, and back to our regular programming. So now let's get into symptoms of burnout. So how can you know that you're actually having symptoms? So imagine that those early signs look like you may have that burnout. What do you specifically need to look into to understand if you are in trouble? There are essentially three types of symptoms, of manifestations of burnout. One is the physical, the mental, and the behavioral. The physical symptoms, as we were discussing before, is when you're constantly drained, when you have low energy every single day, when you start having physical pains that you wouldn't have otherwise, that are not motivated by an injury or a concussion, when you start having pain, muscle pain, headaches that you do not know where they come from, that may be a physical manifestation of burnout. You are very unease within, and then your body is essentially manifesting these psychosomatic physical responses to make you understand that something is not quite right. And this also gives me to the emotional signs of burnout. So burnout, essentially what gives you is a very pessimistic outlook on life. You start cultivating self-doubt. You start feeling unease with yourself. You start detaching yourself from your daily work. You start thinking that nothing really matters anymore. You start developing a cynical outlook on things. And this leads to personal loneliness and isolation, because since you do not really see yourself as worthy anymore, then you tend to isolate yourself from others, which leads to further negativity and a downward spiral that can be very dangerous. So if you happen to have permanent negative feelings of inadequacy, of self-doubt, of negativity, and you happen to find yourself lonelier than usual and having more cynical and pessimistic outlook on the world, on yourself, and your work, that's essentially a true tell that you are suffering from burnout. And finally, the third sign is behavioral symptoms. So when you start having physical pains you wouldn't normally have and your emotional state is in disarray, this obviously leads to some behavioral responses. You withdraw from your responsibilities, you become disengaged at work, you check in late, check out early, and don't really care about anything that is assigned to you. You use food and drugs to comfort yourself and maybe save you for a few hours from that cynical and pessimistic outlook. And essentially you disengage from the world and your work. If you happen to have all of these symptoms, physical, emotional, and behavioral, please seek help. You need to cure yourself because this can lead to a negative downward spiral that can be very dangerous. We have a video on this I'm going to be linking here that you can check because we help people solve their burnout if they happen to have it whilst deep working, and it doesn't take more than 2 weeks, right? So this is a full protocol. Check it out and let me know what results do you get. See you in the next video.